Hello everybody, this is Momo from TheMomoZone, and this is a video response to world peace. How you doing, Ben? Hope everything's good. You sent me a video, you asked a few questions, and I'm going to see if I can answer them. Dude, this is a tricky little formula. The problem with this formula is that there are parameters that one's got to follow, and that these things usually wind up coming out of experience. You know, in other words, if you've been around long enough and you've tried something enough, you're going to know if it works most of the time, some of the times, or almost never works. And if you don't change your approach, then, you know, it just can't work. Moments when you just have to say something, and the value in action versus non-action. Now, what could that possibly mean? So, I mean, look. If people are generally, say, not getting along with you because they feel that you're aggressive, and you feel that you disagree with more people than you agree with, then you have to say to yourself that, well, then you have a choice. Either everybody's nuts, or you're nuts, or there's just something that, you know, you're not coming across on as a happy medium. So where does it end? Some people just like to debate, and they just like to fight, and they always just want to prove they're right, or they always want to just, you know, they like keeping the conversation going because it's just part of what they like to do. I've gotten to a point in my life where I can't do that anymore. It's the second I see something that just turns my crank the wrong way, I just like cut it off and go in the other direction. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. It's our time and we can do what we want with it, right? When you have to say something, or is it enough to think it? This is a great little lesson here. It's something that I've really had to learn. You know, there was a point in my life where I always told everybody what I thought. If you look at how Buddhist things, or these monk guys, or, you know, all these like serious like spiritual people out there, they don't say too much stuff, and some of them say nothing at all. And that's because they're observing. And when you observe and you don't speak too much, what's happening is you get the upper hand, believe it or not, because you're getting to see everything through an outside point of view. And you're really looking for the details. And this is where things change, you know. And you got to be quite the man or the woman or the person to just hold stuff in and just say, I'm just going to watch it happen, because you know. That doesn't make you like a wimp. Doesn't make you, it means that in life, there's no such thing as one approach. You may want to attribute your approach to a style that you're trying to maintain for yourself, but I assure you that what looks like is the same thing is always a little different depending on who you're approaching or what you're approaching, and it may have the same outcome, a finished product, a finished result, but in the end, let me tell you that it all comes out to the same thing. You got to know when to talk and when not to talk. And people who talk too much usually don't do that much. Action speaks louder than words. Action speaks louder than words. This is a very good thing. I'll tell you why. Because the word action here, this is the operative word. Because just because the word action is in the phrase, action doesn't have to mean war. Action doesn't have to mean that there's got to be some heated up shit and some kind of major action going on. Action can actually mean you taking charge and going to do something. Right? And the idea of action speaks louder than words. Well, if you just keep going blah, 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 and you don't do the thing, then I'd rather be silent and have something done than keep flapping my beak and get nothing done at all. I mean, as for doing a video that's, you know, completely on the opposite side of things. Look, if you've watched any of my other videos, then you know that everything I talk about is about accomplishing things and going to get things done. There are so many ways of doing it. But when you're comfortable enough with who you are, you become an original. When you become an original, you build a niche for yourself. You go out there and people come and see you for who and what you are because you've accepted yourself, okay? And then people can accept you. You don't want to always be behind the glass where everybody's always molding you and telling you what you are and what you're going to become, and that's your parameter. You want people to accept you for who and what you are. So, yeah, I got to tell you, silence is one of the most amazing things, especially for a lot of people who like to achieve a lot, so their brain is never really silent. They're always thinking, even if they're not talking. And if you're a talker and a thinker, double trouble, dude. Imagine if you don't stop talking and you keep thinking at the same time, then oof, that's an art. Very few people can manage to do that. The bottom line is, as long as you're happy, and if something doesn't work for you, just try something different. And if that doesn't work, try something else. But like, keep tabs on what it is that you're trying. You know what I mean? And really see that the next time you're trying, if it's not working, like, how far off were you from the last time you tried it? Did you just really do the same thing and maybe change one word? Or hell, you might have to change your clothes and look different when you do it. But you gotta really think about what it takes to make that difference. And listening, doing something, changing your crowd, you know, and to stop feeling like shit is really what it's all about. So, dude, I thank you for making me this video response, and I hope that this answered some of your questions. And I wish you a fantastic day, man.